Get cozy, everybody, because they will be playing a game called Duskbound, requested by Glory Bull. Okay, start. This game contains dark and unsettling themes that may not be suitable for everyone. Cool. Would you like to see the content warnings? No, I get it. There is no light in this city, but there is light in the sky. A dull red one is all that illuminates our eternal night. Even the lanterns are obscured by countless moths. People trace the same paths every day, seemingly possessed by no spirit at all, simply droning on. Some days it feels like I am the only one who is alive and everyone else is merely a ghost. It wasn't always like that. Long ago, the city shone as a beacon to all those who believe in the one Lord. Until the Red Plague fell upon us, and our great cathedral was abandoned by those who proclaimed they would save us. They took the light with them when they left. God damn, this font style is not really helpful in trying to read this. The font style doesn't really do it any favors. But they couldn't take everything from us. I, for one, have done my best to find hope in small things. Like my meeting with him. There is no light in this city, but he is the sun. Oh my god, that will burn you alive then. I don't know who he is, but I saw him one day, ambling through the town square. His garments were impeccably tailored, and his hair framed his face in a way I had only seen in paintings. And those fine threads, if he had stopped by my workshop, I would have surely remembered. Of course, I have seen attractive men in my life, but there is simply something different about him. And that glint in his eyes. As I examined him, his eyes met mine, and a radiant smile came over his features. Yes, because he's a vampire, probably. Because vampires have this supernatural ability to attract people, yeah. The light behind his eyes shone so dazzlingly. They use that advantage to prey on, because they're predators. They prey on the ones they seduce, yada yada. The light behind his eyes shone so dazzlingly, I hadn't seen anyone in the city look like that in years. When it occurred to me that I was staring at him, I quickly averted my eyes. Ow, my neck. Don't forget to stretch. Excuse me. Wait, that's us? Holy shit, we're adorable. I rushed past him, embarrassed by the blush slowly rising to my cheeks. In the days that I followed, I passed by the town square as often as I could afford myself the time to, hoping to catch a glimmer of him again. I had to confirm for myself that he was not an illusion. More than that, I had to confirm that the light that I had found in his eyes was more than a fluke. It's really hard to read with this font style. The longer I went without seeing him, the more I became convinced that I had made it all up. That he was no different from the others, and that I was desperate for anything that would change the monotony of my dull days. But he was there again, and that same expression was unmistakably real. He was looking at me with those eyes that make me forget about this dreary place that sent me far away. Ever since then, I couldn't get him out of my head, more so I couldn't let go. At first, I was content glancing at him every now and then, a gentle reminder that not all is dark and not all hope is lost. But the more I gave in to thinking about him, the less I could accept the daily routine that I'd been shoving down my throat and pretending I was content with. What I'm saying is, I grew greedy. I had been looking for an escape this entire time, not knowing how to find one. I could leave, but where to? Nothing but death awaits those that venture outside the city walls. The only solace available to me might be the arms of another, but I had never found anyone fit to hold me. Still, things are different now. I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Except your life. That's why today I'll change my fate. Okay. I swallow hard, trying to calm my quaking heart and nervous breathing. He is mesmerizing. Hello. A good day, can I help you? I don't believe we've met. Oh, of course, why would he remember me? The words I so carefully rehearsed failed to spill from my lips. I have seen you around in the town square. Oh no, this isn't going anywhere. Oh, I recall now. I'm sorry I didn't recognize you earlier. I don't receive guests too often. Please, come in. Why don't you join me for some tea? It's something of a hobby of mine growing plants and combining them into interesting flavor combinations. Unfortunately, I'm rather strapped for taste testers, so I'm unsure if they're any good. My face flushes. He's being so kind, but why? I'm more than a stranger plucked from the streets. Perhaps, could it be he sees the same light in my eyes that I see in his? A gentle warmth spreads throughout me, and I finally find it in me to meet his gaze. Yeah, we're making false assumptions that make us feel better for ourselves, without actually confirming the other side, the other person. That sounds lovely. I must admit, I'm no connoisseur of tea, but I do enjoy a cup every now and then. Where's the save button? Oh, it's so small. With plenty of milk. With plenty of milk, preferably. Why, you want to be tall? Oh, maybe that is a fox pass to true tea enthusiast. I don't know. No such thing. Some teas are better with milk and some without. There is plenty of time to get you acquainted. But please, it's quite chilly outside. Do come in, I insist. I nod in agreement and cannot help my smile from growing wider. Sees that whoever is daring truly does come out victorious. As I enter through the doorframe, I glance up at him and can't help but notice. Those teeth look awfully sharp. That didn't give you a clue. The mansion's interior is reminiscent of an antique shop. One does not get customers all too often. There's an eeriness to the way it looks. Almost abandoned, half hidden behind cobwebs and dust, but the familiar smell of old books waiting over me is enough to put me at ease. As I follow him through the hallway, I look around in wonder. The walls are lined with portraits of women. All of them look different, but they bear a chilling resemblance to one another. Some of them look expressionless, others sad or even anguished. Not one of them wears a smile. But most unsettling of all, they remind me so very much of me. Uh-oh. Let's save here. Boop. Hey, what about the portrait? Ask about the portraits. What lovely portraits. The artistry is apparent, but I must say they look so sullen. Might I ask the story of these paintings? He turns around slowly and purses his lips, as though he's unsure how to respond. After a drawn-out silence, I start. Oh, I'm sorry if I pried into something I shouldn't have. His eyes soften. No, don't worry. It's another hobby of mine, though I fear I'm not very good at it. After all this time painting the same subject, I have at least managed a modicum of skill in portraiture. Oh, okay. So they're all portraits of the same woman. Then what love he must have had for her. I feel a pang of jealousy within my gut as I picture him gazing at her intently, working to capture her likeness, stroke by stroke. Do you like them? He stares longingly at the paintings for a moment, then directs his attention back at me. They're beautiful, truly. I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. However, if you wouldn't mind me asking, who is she? He chuckles, turning his gaze towards me. You're just the same as always. What? Can't you see? They're you. All of them are you. What? My beautiful pale one, shining like the moon in the night sky. How I would have loved to capture your smile. I can feel it. You feel it too, don't you? Yes, this time it's different. Jesus Christ, can't you just ask me out in a normal way like a movie and a dinner first? The miracle I've been waiting for. You're drawn to me this time. You've never looked at me like that. Scarlet eyes sparkling. That face, no pain, no fear. It makes me happy. This is one chance to panic. I don't know what you're on about. I cannot deny that these portraits do bear some resemblance to me, but we haven't met, and I've certainly not sat for any portraits. No. Just when I thought that things had changed, what was it this time? Was it something I'd said? It's useless, isn't it? What are you talking about? You. Why must you torment me like this? The light I saw in him left his eyes completely in that moment. A cold shell remained, leaving me to wonder which one was the real him. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I have to leave. I take a step back towards the front door, but he grips my wrist with a terrifying strength. I'm afraid I can't let you do that. I glance at his stoic face with bewilderment. Why is his expression so dead? I can't understand any of this. And his eyes, how hollow they seem now, all light extinguished. It pains me to see him so, but as he tightens his hold on my wrist, I snap back to the situation at hand, punch him in the face. I try to pull my arm from his grip, but it simply won't move. Keep pulling. Yeah, kick him in the balls. I keep pulling with that strength that I have, but he won't move at all. Just what do you want from me? Look at me with those eyes again, and things can go back to normal. Please, my dearest moon, look at me. I know what he wants now, but I'm terrified. What do you think she wants? How can his eyes fill with love when he has lost the very thing that pulled me in? Pull your arm or play along. I don't know, man. Let's see here. Poop. Pull your arm with all your strength. Give up. Pull your arm with all your strength. Give up. Smile at him. I muster my best attempt at a smile, but it feels lopsided and wrong at best. An absolutely joyous laughter resounds throughout the hallway. Pathetic. Absolutely pitiful, really. As suddenly as it appeared, his smile recedes from his features to reveal an almost fragile expression. Oh, my dearest pale one, how I squandered this chance. Next time I'll do better, I promise. Alas, until then, whenever and however that may be, what are you talking about, dude? Does this girl have amnesia? Without warning, he knocks me out. What? Why would you do that? There's no way to know how much time had passed once again. So every time he paints a picture of us, we always get knocked out. We get punched in the face every night. There's no way to know how much time has passed once I regain consciousness. I slowly open my eyes and a wave of panic washes over me as I realize I am tied to a chair. That's when I notice him sitting across from me, his expression hidden behind his easel. I try screaming, begging, bargaining, anything that could get him to listen, but he no longer looks at me. He simply stares off into some impossibly far distance, somewhere I can't reach and probably somewhere he can't reach either. As he looks through me, he paints my form as though possessed. With each erratic stroke, he transposes a piece of me from reality into his canvas. And once he's done, there'll be nothing left of me. What? So every time he paints a portrait of you, a piece of yourself like a soul is put there until you're all done and shit? Alright. And what? Answered your own question. Okay. Right. Alright. So we're done with this. Let's go back. Where's the load? There you are. Yeah. I mean, we played along. We panicked. How about we play along? Conflicting emotions sloshed around the pit of my stomach, causing me to fall silent. I don't know how these paintings could possibly be of me, but how could I not feel flattered by such words? Our meeting in the town square must have made quite an impact on him after all. It seems he was simply afraid of overwhelming me. He's odd, but perhaps it's precisely that which has me charmed. Can't deny that the connection I feel towards him seems like something more than a whim. Something is set alight in the air between us when our eyes meet. It's really hard to read with this kind of font style, god damn it. I really have to squint my eyes properly. And it hurts my fucking eyebrows. Something that I always there in my dreams was just out of reach. But he's here now and he's real and he feels it too. Who am I to scoff at that when I am the one who would possibly understand? You would compare me to the moon? It's embarrassing to admit it, but ever since I first laid eyes on you in the town square, you have been like the sun to me. You shine in these dreary days of dullness, reminding me of what good remains in this world. I bashfully squint my eyes shut and will myself to turn invisible. We can do that? I can't believe I just said that out loud. If only you knew, my dear pale one, my rays of light can only reach their true magnificence when reflected by the moon. Okay, I'd have expected a mansion this size to have servants sweeping the floors or conversing in hushed whispers as they pass through the hallways. However, I don't see a single soul as he guides me to the drawing room? Okay. Our only accompaniment, the echoed sound of our footsteps. The more I see of his residence, the more I am reminded of a ruin, a tomb where some nobleman lies buried beneath piles of luxuries he no longer has a use for. God damn it, it's really getting harder to read this a lot. A deep sense of loneliness seeps out of every wall, threatening to suffocate me. I wonder how he feels wandering through these hallways all alone. You could ask him. Here we are. Please have a seat. I'll be right back. He gestures at a worn-down but clearly well-made sofa before disappearing behind the door. I sit down and look around the room to pass the time. It's beautiful but looks somehow disheveled. The candles stand crooked in the candlestick, and a thin layer of dust covers most surfaces in the room, further exemplifying its apparent disuse. He steps back inside, a silver tray held delicately in hand. I hope I didn't keep you waiting too long. Not at all. He swiftly places down 2 elegant teacups on the table, their aromatic steam breathing life into the stillness of the room. What is this all about? The sight of the lace lace doilies pristine white color makes a slight worry creep up my back. I must not spill the tea. Steadying my hand, I lift the teacup and bring it to my lips. The tea ripples as I blow on it gently. Of course, it is entirely too hot to drink. This was merely a practice run. Perhaps a few minutes of conversation should have it ready. I take it you do not make much use of the drawing room. He lowers his cup and nods. I suppose it was obvious. The majority of time is spent in my atelier or in my study when I wish to read. As you can likely tell by now, this place is far too spacious for me alone. Still, as long as I live in this dreaded city, I can't bring myself to abandon my family home, even if little remains of those who once called it so. Perhaps especially so because of that. I fall silent for a moment, unsure of how to respond. Should I distract him from the dreary topic by delving into our shared interest in reading? It doesn't feel like skirting around his tragedy merely because it is unpleasant. Was it the Red Plague? What? My sister and I lost our parents and baby brother. It must be hard not having anyone. I did not mean to make you pity me. Death might be a consolation compared to wandering around this ghost of a city. I do hope your family is at peace. Apologies, I did not mean to dampen the mood. Now enough of all that. Tell me, to what do I owe the pleasure of your visit? Oh no, I can't avoid it any longer. I came here for a reason, but would it be too absurd to lay it on the table like this so soon? Then again, with the things he has said before, it feels as though he already knows my heart. Is there any point in hiding it anymore? Save it here. Save. Confess your love. Perhaps, against my better judgment, I muster up the courage to get the words out of my mouth. I'm about to say something insolent and brash. Will you forgive me? You can say anything to me and I'll accept it. My forgiveness is always irrevocably yours. Something about that kind of look in his eyes and the candor in his words give me pause. I do not deserve this warmth. The reason I came here today is because I cannot forget about you. I simply cannot let you go. Ever since the eternal night fell, everyone in the city has been lost. They aren't alive, they're only puppets acting out some play along after the audience has left. What are you talking about? So there's been a disease, a plague, an eternal night or something, and people are just, living their life, try to make this normal and shit, and you're like, they're only puppets, yada yada. Okay. Yes, whatever. I too was lost, but when I looked into your eyes for the first time, I felt found. You aren't like them. You are the only person in this world who feels real. I know this sounds like insanity, but you are free to send me away. I have seen the way you look at me. If it is as I suspect, and this feeling is something you recognize, then please, let me stay by your side. My heart pounds against my chest, but I feel relieved to finally speak aloud the feelings I held inside, no matter what comes next. I cannot believe it. Joy, elation, words fall short of describing the feeling you've stirred inside me. I was right this time. Finally, you have come to your senses, and have come to see that you belong to me. He holds out his hand to me. It doesn't matter what I do not understand why. None of this matters. Only he and I exist, and that is the truth. Briefly, I think back to my home, to my workshop where I make the same dreamless robes day after day until my hands can remember the steps better than I remember the faces of my parents. To my sister who, try as she may to suppress it, holds that quiet resentment in her gaze as she looks at me, why was I the one who lived and not my precious brother? And now I can leave it all behind. None of those ties have to bind me as long as I have another thread to hold on to. Take his hand? It's not like I have a choice. This eternal night exists because we cannot fulfill our roles without one another. What? You understand, don't you? What? So by being together, the eternal night will stop and there will be daily days now? Okay. You understand, don't you? Nope. Your purity is mine and mine alone to corrupt? What? Corrupt me then. I won't protest. What? Okay. Don't do it in live though. I'll make sure to savor it slowly. Make it family friendly. I think it might be dangerous. This might be entirely warped, a choice born out of desperation. But right now, that thought doesn't reach my heart. All of this makes sense. No, it has to make sense if it doesn't. The red moon has hollowed us all out, and I don't know how much longer I could have taken it before. I would have ended up like them. What, just zombies and shit? It's better to go out in a blaze than to be ground to dust. It's better to live than to fucking die, how about that? He moves over and brushes his fingers against me softly, running them first along my cheeks, then over my lips and down my neck. Every touch sends a spark that alleviates my loneliness just a little more. Bit by bit he caresses every inch of my exposed skin, making me tremble. His breath tickles my car as he whispers, I want to rip you open. What? If only I could live inside you. Ew. But don't worry, I'll make sure no harm befalls you, my love. I press my lips against his shakily, but my hesitance finds no reply in him as he pulls me in. His mouth moves against mine insatiably, seeming to carry the weight of a lifetime of yearning. It's nothing I have ever felt before. Okay, I think this is going on for too long. I melt into his rhythm with a sigh, wrapping my arms around him as I lose faith in my ability to support my own body. Then he parts from me and takes my face in his hands. A smile spreads across his face as he presses his forehead against mine. I have seen you in so many forms, but this one is new. Even the scent of blood in your veins has become sweeter. What? Everyone has forgotten the hundreds upon thousands of times this night has repeated, even you. I am the only one who remembers all of you. That is why I am the only one who can have you. You're mine. I'm yours. He runs his tongue along my neck. I feel his fangs graze against my skin and hold back a gasp. So it's true. It's not that I've never heard them before. Those cursed to walk between life and death, I suppose I thought them more of a tale to scare misbehaving children. Maybe I should have known when I saw his grin. He's a vampire. No shit. If you offer me your blood, the eternal night will come to a final end. Our curse will be dissolved. You'll be free. Go on then. Do it. But freedom can be a terrifying thing. I'll have you, won't I? Unable to stay away from him now that I have had a taste, I kiss him again. A quiet peace falls over us as we desperately try to fill the gaps between our physical forms. My dearest pale one. His fangs brush against my neck once more, but he has to sink deeper this time. Taking a deep breath, I give a small nod. He breaks my skin and I shut my eyes tightly. It burns white hot. But the pain isn't unpleasant. Absolutely delicious. I feel him softly chuckle against me. Tastes better without resistance after all. He desperately drains me to the point where I start to feel lightheaded and loosen my grip. I tug at his back and he pauses to look down at me. My weakened body collapses onto his as the world stirs. Through closed eyes I can feel it, an unfamiliar sensation. Warm, thin strokes of light filter through the window. Arg! Roar! I open my eyes in shock and cling onto him, lacking the strength to lift my arms. He sees my curse does not end here. What? No, wait. He slowly raises a limp hand towards me. My moon, but you just sucked her blood. It's kinda your fault, isn't it? He hacks and coughs with features scrunched in anguish as flames clutch at his back. Oh, okay, because of the dawn thingy. The first light of dawn is no sweet relief to a creature of the night. How could he have not known, or did he know? Do I detect faintest strands of smile amidst all the pain, or is it merely a trick of the light? The crackling noise makes me wince as a horrible stench emerges from his charred and twisted skin. Smoke climbs through my nose and mouth, suffocating me slowly. I can no longer tell if my tears are from the pain, from the tragedy of this outcome. Can my body quell these flames, or will they simply spread and consume me? Is there anything I can do? Don't go, you can't. No, please, even though you almost killed me and shit. You can't leave me behind. What am I supposed to do without you? Yeah, we just had one night of dating. Holy shit. But he has no mouth to respond to me with. Before me lies nothing but a pile of ash. Lol. And 3. Unfit to meet the light of day. Okay. What else? Ask about him instead. Oh wait, no, I can't. I can't. Yeah. I have to go to work. So yeah, this is Duskbound. There's an eternal night. Okay, and somehow by them being together it breaks the curse. How is this established? Maybe if we explore more of the game, but yeah, sure. We're done with ending 1 and ending 3. Okay. So yeah, if you want to try the game for yourselves, the links are in the description. That is all for today. Stay safe and take care of yourselves.